into the iris.
Hey you crazy internet people, this is Forever Your Guru AJ speaking. I'm coming back to you with yet another Why Noobs Shouldn't Do 390 Raids. This is, I believe, part 3 of this series. This time I did not rage out, so congrats on me, I guess, maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to ask some important questions, and I'd like the community to answer back honestly. And we're going to discuss, first off, is Destiny a good game? Like, if we just go by core mechanics of the game, is it a good game? I believe it is. I think it's a great game. I think that it's very tight on the turning, on the control sticks, very, very low input lag. I think they did a wonderful job on that, and that's to be expected. I mean, it's Bungie. That's what they do. They've been making extremely well thought out, well put together, solid first-person shooter with light story element, real, single-player story modes, and extremely good PvP. Right? That's what we've come to expect from Bungie, and we wouldn't expect anything less. Which is why whenever Destiny came out, it was such a letdown. Okay? Because they had that. They had all of those core fundamental, this is Bungie, look at our game, it works really well, this is going to be great. The problem is that although that's true, they had that there, they promised so much more, right? And we all know the stories about how Activision kept sticking their nose into things because Activision only knows one thing, which is how to pump a game out if it's ready or not. Okay, if you believe it or not, you can look back through the research. It's all there. It's documented. In fact, that's why we're getting Destiny 2 in September. If it's ready or not, I pray that it is ready, because they are inviting some very big names out there, like Rick Kakis, My Name is Bife, just to name 2 out of the many. If you're listening to my channel and you're one of those guys, don't worry about it. If I didn't mention your name, it's fine. But some really big guns in this whole Destiny review thing are getting invited out for Destiny 2's soon to be released this month. Kind of beta type of playthrough thing where they're getting to go and play. They don't even know. They know it's going to be Destiny 2. They're going to get to go play. Kakis is all excited because he's hoping to be able to get through a raid. I don't know if he's even going to see that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty sheltered because they don't want you giving away too much. But one of the coolest things about what's about to happen is the fact that they get to capture their own game footage, and then they can do reviews or different things on that game footage, which is going to be cool. So, tangent aside, is Destiny a good game? Core mechanics, I think we've decided yes. I think Destiny is a good game, core mechanics. Is Destiny a good game in implementation? That's a mixed bag. It depends. Ask the hardcore player versus player, and they'll tell you on any given day that it's different. Destiny keeps changing the meta. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong, but that's pretty much what it is in PvP. It's always a big change. It's always a big grab bag on what you're going to get and what you don't get. But PvE, is it a good game? No. 100% it is not a good game. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's a horrible game, and this is just my opinion. But the way that Bungie has set up some of their core events, it's not something that the average player can get into right away. But boy, do they try, which is why we're on Why Noobs Shouldn't Do 390 Raids part 3. Okay, we were playing last night, and I'm telling you, I had one of those guys that was just a really big mouth again, trying to tell people where to go, trying to tell people what to do, swearing up and down that he could, do this and do that on his own, making all other positions seem, meaningless. And yet, he kept dying over and over and over again. The kid could not keep himself alive. Okay? And then, at the very beginning, remember what I said. And you can go back to why noobs shouldn't do 390 raids. I believe it's number 1. Anyone that complains that they don't do things or that they don't have patience, kick them immediately. And we didn't. And this guy came in, was complaining so much about how easy this is, and it took you an hour and a half last time to do this whole raid. Oh my gosh, no way, dude, I would have rage quit out if it took longer than 40 minutes. So we get to the part of oracles. And, this guy, he's sitting there and he's complaining left and right about how easy this is. And his guy on his side dies. Is it the big mouth's fault that he died? No, it is not. This guy was garbage on his own. But he was like, oh yeah, I got this. As he's saying, I got this, Guardian down. He's dead. Why? Because he didn't have it. And the problem is that people like that you don't want to play with, because they continuously tell you that they are going to do it because they don't want to feel, or they don't want you to feel, that they are inferior. And by them doing that, they are inferior, unfortunately. And the reason being is because if they would have just opened their mouth, not to yell and spit out hate and stupidity, but open their mouth to say, look, I need help, we would have been there. We could have done something for you. Also, please show this to somebody who is a noob that can benefit from this video, for at least just this one part. If we ask you, do you know how to do this? Do not open your mouth and say yes if all you've done was watched a YouTube video or have been in the situation before but did absolutely nothing and the rest of your team pulled you through. Okay, that does not mean you know what you're doing. Right? I had a guy last night that we were playing with. Okay. Said, look, you know what? And it's a close personal friend of mine, unfortunately. But I know his abilities. And I know the way that the game works. He said, you know what? For Atheon, not for Atheon, for the, oh gosh. I don't know. The middle part where you have to jump onto the two spots to block the warping. He was like, oh yeah, I got that. I was like, are you sure you have this? Can you do this on a regular basis? Because I believe you can't. And the first thing out of his mouth, oh yeah, I can. Okay, good deal. So we started. Literally 14 seconds into it, Guardian down. Now, is this speaking to his ability to play the game? Not necessarily. But you have to be smart about Destiny. Destiny is always changing as a game. The AI is pretty reasonable. I mean, I wouldn't call it a solid AI, and thank goodness it isn't, because if it was, we'd have a lot more people dying. But it's one of those games where you have to take into account that you have real people playing with you. This isn't just you against the machine. It's you against the machine against 5 other people that you can't necessarily control what they're going to do or what they don't do. So this guy had been used to playing with a team that clears most of the ads for him. So all he's really doing is just jumping across the 2 pillars. Yeah, that's pretty simple. Almost everyone can do that if you had a team clearing the ads. But the team that he got was one of those teams that never actually had to do much at all, because all they ever did was just stand there and shoot at the big guy and bring him down and leave all the ads, because they were used to a different strategy of what the guy that was blocking the teleports usually did. And I kind of figured that's what this team was going to do, just because of how they were functioning on their own before that. But he didn't, and he got wiped out immediately. There was like 20 ads there, and they just all rocketed him the second that he got off the first pillar, and his little shadow ball disappeared. So keep that in mind. You have to do those types of things. Also, please, for the love of goodness, don't play Destiny scared. Okay, I can't talk about that enough. If you are one of those players that is afraid of life, get out of my team. I don't want you there. I'd rather have the big mouth than have somebody that doesn't say anything and stays in a back corner and, doesn't do anything so that they can say that they stayed alive. That's horrible. That's not going to help your team. That's a bunch of trash, and it's ridiculous. You should feel bad about yourself for doing that, and you should feel bad for your team that you did that. That's the only thing I can say to that, is that you're a troll. Please get out of my team. But you know what? It's just me ranting now, so I'm just gonna move on, and I'm just gonna log off now. So this is Forever Your Guru, AJ speaking, signing out. I'll see you in the next one.